Hi, guys. Information can defeat fear. We're certainly in a stormy time together, and it's certainly a time when many are afraid. But I want to give you a tool today that can help reduce your fear level, reduce your anxiety, and set you on a course to sailing through this storm. We're looking at a story in the Bible. Before I go on, if you're turned off by Christians, if someone who calls himself a Christian have turned you off to the Bible, I'm so sorry for that. Some people who go around quoting Bible verses and thumping their Bibles are not true Christians at heart. Some Christians just don't know how to live and just don't know how to act. So please forgive them, but don't let them steal the Bible from you, because there's so much wisdom to be found in the pages of the Bible. There's a story in Acts 27 that we've been looking at the past couple of days. The Apostle Paul is sailing through a storm. And one of the amazing things that they did on the ship, he's sailing on a prison ship full of prisoners, actually headed to Rome. They're in a storm. The stars and moon and sun are all blotted out by the darkness of the storm. It's so much like our lives today. There's so much we don't know. There's so many unknowns, and it's so easy to get afraid when all the unknowns seem to be crowding around you. But they did something powerful that you and I can do. They gathered what information they could. It says in Acts 27:28, they dropped a weighted line and they found that the water was 120 feet deep. And then a little later, they measured again and found it was only 90 feet deep. That's Acts 27, verse 28. They didn't have modern depth finding equipment like we would have today. But in the middle of the storm, they normally would take a big rock, a weighted line. It's tied onto a rope, and they would lower it to the bottom and then bring it up and measure again to find out how deep the water was in. And what they determined from this is that the water was shallowing up. In fact, they were about to run aground. They really needed that information. That's a powerful principle that will help us sail through a storm. When information is sparse, when you don't know what's going on, gather all the information you can. Gathering information and truly understanding what you're dealing with in a situation will reduce fear often, and often reduce our anxiety, and it will definitely put us on a path toward a solution. The unknown is just scary. I know so many people now have lost jobs. Many incomes have been reduced. People are really scared about their financial future. One of the best things that you and I can do in our lives right now is to sit down and write down or type out an adequate estimation of what our income is going to be over the next couple of months. It's very realistic for many of us to think that our income is going to be at least a bit reduced over the next couple of months. So write down what you really expect your income to be, even though it might hurt a little bit. Then you've got that information down. Then go through your budget. If you don't have a budget, now is an awesome time to get a budget. Write down what your expenses are. Trim back any expenses that are non-essential. Anything that you don't have to have, trim those out, and do the best you can to get expenses lined up with income. Now, when you get done with this information, it may still be a little scary. You may see a deficit, but understand this: you have faith communities around you. You have family and friends around you that I'm sure are committed to you. I've committed, and I mean this. Nobody around me is going to go out without food as long as I have food. We're going to share. We're going to help. But the power in this is you can measure some things and gather information. And when you do that, it decreases your anxiety because these things are not unknown anymore. The organization that I lead, we looked at our financial picture, and income has been down significantly. And we've looked at the next couple of months and just painted a realistic picture of what our income is going to be. And we've actually frozen spending, and we've reduced expenses to just the essentials. And when we drew all that out and looked at it, I looked up at our treasurer and I looked up at another staff member and I said, we're going to be okay. We can weather this storm. Before we did that, I was really scared because everything was unknown. Information can help defeat fear in your life. It's going to take a little work, but you can do it. Sit down, make a budget. There are other areas that you're afraid of and you're worried about. Gather all the information you can, and you'll be on a path to a solution, and it'll give you great peace. I'm praying for you. I'm believing God to carry us through all this together, and just know that you're not alone in this, and you're going to make it in this. gather all the information we can. We'll finish this series tomorrow. If this is adding value to your life, hit subscribe and you won't miss a thing. God bless you. Thank you.